Gen Z is the first generation where they're same age as their parents, they're making less money, not more. Problem is their university degrees are 3 to 4x more expensive. Oh, by the way, so is housing. Wait a second, inflation is at a degree in which my dollar today is worth less than even 5 years ago. On top of that, 7 million working age men supposedly are unemployed at this moment right now. And so young people are like, wait a second, I can't live, I can't eat, groceries more expensive. That's real, actually. And so the people that are making fun of young people in TikToks when they cry about their job being difficult, I don't really vibe with that because the math says it's hard right now.
Hey y'all, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lumi, and today we're going to be looking at why Gen Z is struggling right now and preparing for a recession. Now, as you can see from this first video, it's no surprise at this point. People are pretty aware of what's going on right now in the economy. I'd say hyper aware. Over these past couple weeks with what the new administration is doing with these radical policies and the trade wars that we're initiating in. And it's really, this is just the beginning of, I think, a major economic pullback. Possibly a recession. The technical definition of a recession is, I believe, 2 quarters of decline in GDP growth. So if we don't see any growth in these next few quarters, yeah, we will be indeed in an official recession. Now, we'll see if it gets to that point. I strongly believe that the government and major mainstream media outlets will always try to skew the numbers a little bit so not to induce panic. But as you can see, the panic is here. We're already entering what looks like a pretty messy market. It seems to be the bear market is here. If you're not familiar with that term, it just means that you're going to see more selling than buying, right? Bear markets are usually associated with loss in value in the stock market, whereas bull markets are when everyone's buying and the value just goes up and up and up and up. So, yeah, no, and I think we've been due for a correction now for a while. It seems like the past 3 or 4 years, the stock market and the housing market has been sort of in a runaway state. It's gone unchecked, uncorrected for a while now. I think the last major correction was due to mostly outside influence, sort of like how it is now. Last time it was, I would say, the COVID-19 pandemic, obviously. But now it's, it feels more synthetic, more man-made due to policy being pushed. But yeah, no, it's, it doesn't just affect Gen Z, it affects everybody. But, it especially hurts younger people because they're getting their first taste at reality, at the real world, at adult life, right? And it's not looking pretty. And actually, I'm thinking of a future video that I'll show in a moment here. But it goes to show how Gen Z, they kind of grew up, Gen Z and millennials, I would say, have grown up with nothing but historical events, right? Like major tragedies, catastrophes, economic pullback, That's not to say that there wasn't some growth and but it just feels like there's more bad things that have happened than good. And yeah, my sympathies go out to Gen Z because it's you're told all these things, right? You're told to go to school, get a good degree, get a good education, and everything will work out for you. But as soon as they graduate, it's like, whoops, just kidding. No, your cost of living now is through the roof. You have to immediately start paying back your student loans. So you're probably already, I think the average is like 40, $50,000 in debt. So you immediately have to do that. Um, Hopefully you have a car already paid for, because on top of that you're going to need a car and have a car payment. So you're already looking at like $1,000 in monthly payments for those two things alone. Then you add on top of that housing, which is like I think on average, a studio apartment these days goes for like $1,500. So you're already looking at like $2,500 a month out the door, and it's like it adds up and up and up, and then you got food and like groceries. It leaves nothing left over for you. Basically, all the little, I guess, like pleasures in life are you kind of just have to put that on the back burner, I guess, for like 10, 15 years, because you're going to be so busy working your butt off trying to pay back, all these loans and just pay for life in general. So, yeah, it's like, man, I could go all day about this stuff because it's rough out here. But anyway, let's take a look at the next one here.
United States is heading towards recession. Give us a break. We're tired of living through a historical events. A lot of us Gen Z kids were born, bam, 9/11, two towers. 2008, we get a recession, okay? We're playing Pokemon in the living room. Meanwhile, our parents are losing their jobs in the kitchen. Now we got to turn the volume up on our DS because our parents are fighting in the kitchen over money, okay? Obama happened. That was cool. Afghanistan, not so cool. And then, like, 2016 was the best year. That's what we consider the best year. That says a lot, okay? And then after that, everything just starts going downhill. 2020, you know what happened. We've lived through so many historical events. We're not going to remember everything. Our kids are going to come up to us and be like, hey, do you remember that unarmed black person who the cops turned into Swiss cheese for no reason? And you're going to be like, no, because at a certain point, it was like one a week. And then now we got to go through another recession, bro.
Yeah, this was the video here that I was referring to earlier. It's like, we can't catch a break. But, yeah, no, it's like, I'm feeling it too, Like, I feel like I was a little bit lucky because I was already working before COVID hit. It honestly feels like all these events are kind of just like, it's like made to distract us, Like, now this is getting a little like conspiracy theory out there for you guys, and I don't mean to be like this, but I can't help but think that a lot of this stuff is like repeated over and over again in the media to keep us busy, keep us preoccupied, keep us worrying and living in fear. But it's the most of the time it can't be helped, and we just have to keep moving forward, keep doing what we're doing. At the end of the day, you got to do like what's best for you, right? Like, stop doom scrolling, stop watching the news. Like, I've been watching, like, my eyes have been glued to my phone now for like 4 or 5 days straight, just watching what's happening in the economy. And it's like, I mean, everything that's been said has been said at this point. Like, I'm just waiting for, like, I guess the bottom, if you will, or I guess I'm just waiting for like some good news. I don't know, but yeah, it's like we're constantly fed this stuff, and you got to be careful not to let it get to you. But at the same time, I personally want to be prepared as best as I can in case anything really bad happens, and I can take the initiative to protect myself, protect my living, basically, like my livelihood. So But yeah, no, it's like going back to the TikTok. Um, yeah, it's like so many things, one after the other. Like, and when we've grown up with this stuff, it is hard to see the bright side because it's like it's all we know, you know? It's like, God, I remember coming home from school one day, and that was like probably my first hit of reality when 9/11 happened. I mean, I was a kid, you know, my parents pulled me out of school. I turn on the TV, I'm looking for Nickelodeon, right? And I notice every single channel has the towers on fire, and I'm just like, you know, like my little brain couldn't comprehend it. But it was definitely scary. I remember that day vividly. And yeah, no, it's just it's been one after the other, you know, one thing after the other after that day. You know, like that TikTok said, it's just like we've gone through too many of these, you know, historical events. And usually historical events are usually bad. If I don't know if you noticed that, but they're typically pretty serious things that happen. Usually it's you know, not good. Um, but you know, it is what it is, I guess.
A new Bank of America report published on Wednesday reveals that 46% of Gen Z adults in the United States rely on financial assistance from their parents and families. Half of the survey respondents said that they were not on track to buy a home in the next 5 years. But there is good news. 76% of Gen Zers are not afraid to set boundaries and make lifestyle changes to offset growing living costs. This includes things like budgeting, cutting back on eating out, staying home instead of attending events, and shopping at cheaper grocery stores.
This video kind of bothers me because she tries to spin it like it's you know, here are the facts. Gen Z's getting screwed over, right? We're not on track for buying a home soon. It's getting difficult just to make ends meet. You know, we're getting paid less, yada yada, all these things, right? And then she's like, but there's good news. Good news, like Gen Z's trying to budget more and cutting back on eating out, staying home with family, living at home, and cheaper or buying less groceries or whatever. It's like that's not good news. That's all like that's just all cope, you know? It's all cope to just get by to to live, I guess, in this hellscape we're living in currently. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know why she says that's good. Now, what she could have said to make that better is, I think on the bright side, Gen Z is being a bit more, so they're being a bit more cautious and they strive for a better work-life balance. So cautious as in like when they're trying to get a job, right? They're fighting for better pay, they're fighting for vacation days, you know, they're actually trying to create that work-life balance, like a healthy relationship with working because I mean they need to be, right? Like they absolutely need to be because everything is just becoming more and more expensive. So yeah, it's like they have to be this way because if they just accept the bare minimum or less than that, there's no way you could survive. Like there's absolutely no way that Gen Z could survive today with the current, you know, with the current economy right now. Like it's just not possible. Like they need to be this way. That's why it kind of makes me laugh when I see like hiring managers complaining about Gen Z, and it's like you guys don't even realize like what it's like out there. Like fresh out of college, just trying to get by, trying to, you know, get a job. Um, I'd say like a livable wage these days, you have to be making like at least like $50,000 a year. And that's like that's just shy away from like the average, the national average, I think, in the US. But it really it doesn't really it's not a lot these days, you know? You go, whoa, that's like half $100,000. That's a lot of money. At first, you think that's a lot. And, maybe it was 10 years ago, but today it's really not it's not a lot. Um I mean, most of that will just go towards your rent, you know, like or mortgage. Like you could just automatically, put away 2 grand a month to towards rent, which is pretty ridiculous, but that's what a lot of people do. Um, I mean, my sister does that. It's just like that's basically a mortgage, you know. But you need a pretty big chunk of money, a big down payment to get a mortgage. So it's like, her hands are tied basically. And that's how a lot of people are. Their hands are tied. They have to rent because it's their only option. And I don't know. I applaud Gen Z for, you know, I guess sticking it back to like these crooked employers who just want to take advantage of the situation, who just they don't want to pay out. They'd rather just like, find cheap labor elsewhere, maybe overseas, maybe through AI or something. And it's not right. And uh, yeah, I mean, we just gotta stick to our guns and you know stick it out, keep pushing, and on the bright side, hopefully things will get better soon. Um, but I think the best thing we can do is just if we stand together, like if everyone in Gen Z is just like they refuse the lousy pay and they demand, a livable wage and they demand reasonable hours, pretty soon that'll become the norm. So, yeah, that's basically what they got to do. They just got to keep pushing this, and yeah, hopefully things will get better. All right, y'all, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. Hope it wasn't too depressing for y'all. But yeah, if you did like it, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up below. Dislike it if you dislike it. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's anything you want me to cover next. What do you think about the economy right now? Do you think we're just seeing the beginning of this, or are we maybe seeing a turn soon? I'd love to hear your comments. And as always, if you enjoy this sort of thing, consider subscribing. It helps me and the channel go a long way. But anyway, I will catch you in the next one. Later.